there are many spoilers in this review. So if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch. Although I'll try not to give away the whole plot, I will be talking about specific spoilers. So if you watch, risk at your peril, but I will try to keep it to the minimum amount of spoilers. Hey guys, I am Torchwood Boy and welcome to my one-take review of Captain America Civil War. I just got back from it! It was alright. I'm joking, it was awesome. I had so much to talk about. Like, seriously, this movie is so freaking long, and yet it goes by like that. I was sat at the end of the theatre waiting for, there are 2 after credit scenes, and I was waiting for the final one. And I was thinking back to the very beginning of the movie. I thought, Christ almighty, that feels like such a long time ago, and yet it's gone by so quickly. This is a movie you need to re-watch about 5 times, and I'm happy to say this is a movie you will want to watch about 5 times. And then 50 more. This movie is perhaps one of the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Is it as good as Guardians of the Galaxy? No, but I don't think anything's going to be as good as Guardians of the Galaxy for me. I personally love Guardians of the Galaxy. That's my favourite movie of all time, Marvel-wise. So it's not exactly, the best Marvel movie, but I would second place perhaps. But that's my initial reaction will come down obviously once I watch it again, and I'll start nitpicking, and like I do with all the films. I do it with everything. Okay, my favourite movie is Inside Out, and that's an awesome film. And it's animated, I don't care, but there's so much to nitpick about it as well. I can nitpick the whole thing out of it, but I love it to bits, which, so that's sort of just who I am. Right, so let's get straight into it. My top 5 characters. I will give some honourable mentions first. Spider-Man and Ant-Man, my god, they weren't in it for long, but were they scene stealers or what? Seriously guys, absolute scene stealers, love them, love them, love them. So, in at number 5, we have Black Widow. Black Widow was integral to the plot. As she went on, her story sort of diminished slightly, until like 3/4 of the way through, where you see her for the last time. You don't see her again for the rest of the movie, which is kind of surprising, but also understandable because you've got a lot to pack in. And she was really good, she was awesome. She has this amazing sort of running fight scene at the very beginning, and also guys, it ups Black Widow's hand-to-hand combat immensely. Like, you see a lot more of her hand-to-hand combat. You get this a lot on Comic Line. I don't know if you guys ever go in the Comic Line battles, where they pit superheroes against each other, but when Black Widow goes up, if she has no standard gear and she's just fighting hand-to-hand, she doesn't tend to do well, the MCU version anyway. But now, she kicked so much ass in this movie with just her bare hands. It was frigging awesome to watch and to see. Also, her Widow Bite's got a new upgrade where she actually can shoot them now, which came into effect at the very beginning and in the airport sequence, which I'll talk a little bit about. I won't ruin anything amazing. Yes, so in at number 4 we have Mr. Black Panther. Mr. Black Panther was freaking awesome, okay? I was not looking forward to Black Panther. I thought, oh, it's Black Panther, I don't really go. Oh my god, for the fighting choreograph alone, he is a badass. He is very legs. He's very much his legs. I don't remember, he fights with his claws and he's grappling and everything. But he throws some serious kicks out in this movie. You're like, whoa, whoa. My eyes weren't working there for a second. Can you do that again, please? And then he does it again and you're like, whoa. He is impressive, guys. Seriously impressive. Chadwick Boseman plays him so well. And also, T'Challa, you feel for him in a certain sequence. I won't ruin it, but in a certain sequence, you're like, I barely know you, but my god, you are playing this well. In at number 3, we have Steve Rogers. I know, Steve Rogers is number 3 in his own movie. What was that even about? Don't get me wrong, he did a very good job and it was awesome, but he wasn't the standout for me, no. Steve is a very complicated character in that I went into this movie fully Team Cap, and I came out of this movie mostly fully Team Iron Man. I would not have agreed with Steve. I would probably be on Tony's side during the Civil War. I mean, what would I have done? I would have just been there with a camera going, oh my god, which would be really cool. But it was very much his movie still, and he was still very front and centre of the movie for quite a lot of it. Don't get me wrong, there were scenes where he wasn't involved at all. But for the most part, he was full frontal centre. And it was awesome to see. It was awesome for him to interact. He got some cool lines, he got some funny dialogue, but most of all, he was the straight man in the funny crowd. So yeah, it was kind of nice to see him, and he did a really good job. He has one awesome sequence at the end of the movie, which I won't ruin, but you see the full rage of Steve Rogers, and it is intense and amazing. In at number 2, Wanda Maximoff. Yes, who would have thought Wanda Maximoff would have got so much screen time in Captain America Civil War, but my god, she's in a lot of this movie. Okay, for like the first 3/4, she's in a lot of this movie. In fact, she isn't the first person we see, but she's the first Avenger we see. And it's very cool. She has some cool, cute interactions with Falcon and Black Widow at the very beginning, and then you start to see her powers, and wow, her powers have grown immensely. She's very key to the plot at the very beginning, and her relationship with Vision as well is awesome. But I think the main part comes now. This is a spoiler alert. It's not a big spoiler, but it's a spoiler alert all the same. I think the main part for her Wanda comes is when she throws Crossbones up into the air and he explodes, and he kills quite a few people, and the explosion kills quite a few people, and so obviously Wanda, is blamed for it in a way, and sort of collateral damage, and that sort of sparks the entire Civil War. So I suppose it is quite a major plot spoiler. We're fine. It doesn't ruin anything. It just you now know what you're going into. Yeah, so that was really cool, and also she did some crazy, amazing stuff, which we'll be talking about in the top 3 moments later on. So, in at number 1, Mr. Tony Stark. Never has Tony Stark been more likable. I hated the dude in Age of Ultron, but now I'm like, oh, Tony, so much happens to him. And it just gets to you, it gets to you, and Robert Downey Jr. just pulls it off, and then when you don't think he can pull it off anymore, he pulls it off even more. I'm not going to talk any more about Tony Stark though, because so much of him is plot heavy, but wow, Tony Stark is an awesome character, and just the entire emotion that he displays, yeah. So, the top 3 moments. In at number 3, Black Widow chase scene. This is the very start of the movie, right, guys? Now, this is going to get a bit spoilery, so just, hold on, nothing too spoilery. I will only include, number 1 might be quite a bit spoilery, actually. So you guys might want to skip when I get to number 1, just a few minutes. Okay, so, number 3, Black Widow chase scene. She's running, she's kicking all this ass, she's chasing them, and then she's doing all these major flips, and it was such an amazing tracking shot. She's jumping over stuff, and oh, it was brilliant to watch. In fact, the entire of the Logos scene with, Steve arrives, and Falcon arrives, and Wanda arrives, and then just when you think the guys are getting away, Black Widow arrives, and you're like, holy shit, she just took out 10 guys on her own with her bare hands. That was pretty cool. In at number 2, Stephen Bucky are heading for the Quinjet. Vision's like, bitch, you ain't getting nowhere. Blasts that frigging laser beam at the building collapses, and just when you think it's gonna block off their entrance, a red explosion of light catches it, and there, stood on the airfield, is Wanda Maximoff, holding the entire fucking building, guys. The entire building! And then some dicktard takes her out from behind, which I thought was really rude, Mr. James Rhodes. That's not very nice at all, okay? But I did like that about Wanda, and that scene is that she is holding an entire building, and that was the only point in the entire airport battle that she got tagged. So I was like, whoa. She just rocked, totally rocked, and she's just holding the building, and the building is slowly collapsing, but they're running through it, and then freaking War Machine comes up and blasts her with like this sonic device, and she's like, oh shit! Because it obviously hurts, and she drops the building, and you're like, oh frig, but it's alright, because I got things. In at number 1, right, this is where spoilers come in, so get out, go, fly, Giant Man! Oh, that was so cool! Ah, so cool, he just grows, he catches Rose, and he's like shaking, he's like, and then Rose's like, little man's not so little anymore. It's just freaking awesome. Do you know what, guys? There are so many, I won't talk about any more of that, because Spider-Man does something freaking awesome, and when he went, do you guys remember that old movie? I was sort of like, oh my god, he thinks that movie is an old movie. I don't even consider that movie an old movie, I'm so old. That is my top 3 moments, guys. I'm not going to go into any more detail about that movie or anything, because it's worth watching if you guys haven't seen it. Any negatives? I have one. One negative, that is all I have. One negative, guys. Vision was very underused. He had an awesome fight with Hawkeye, who, by the way, honourable mention for top 3 moments, honourable mention, Wanda Maximoff v Vision in the Avengers compound. Guys, little spoilers, so maybe just skip this bit as well. Yeah, just skip it. Wanda blasts Vision straight through the floor, like 10 feet down. Seriously, that girl is like unbelievably powerful. She's gonna be, even the Russo brothers have said she's the most powerful character in all of the MCU, including Thor, including everyone. So I'm excited to see how that develops into Infinity War. They said it on Screen Junkies. If you haven't checked out those videos, they did interviews and they said she's the most powerful character of all of them. But the best thing about this movie is she has no idea how powerful she is. She didn't know she could catch that building until she caught it, so it was pretty cool. That's my honorable mention. Anyway, negatives. Vision wasn't used in the airplane scene at all. He was used in the bit where he drew the line between Captain America's team and Team Iron Man, and then he didn't show up again until the very end to blast the building down, and then to take out a character who he took out. He accidentally took out a character who I won't discuss because that's quite a big problem. Yeah, so that was a bit like, I was like, oh, I kind of wish we had seen a full-on fight between him and Wanda, but I kind of also understand that when he lands and Wanda's on the floor because she's just being sonic blasted by a fucking dickhead in the sky, War Machine. You know, I felt so bad for Wanda. It was like she was holding a building. She had no chance, and he's just like, dick move. But anyway, when he lands next to Wanda, he's like, I'm sorry, and she's like, I'm sorry too. So it's like, sort of like, I can understand why they didn't fight, I suppose, because, you know, they really don't want to fight each other anyway, because their relationship was beautiful during the entire thing. She calls him Vij, guys. Vij. Awesome. Awesome. But that's my only negative, guys. The funniest moment for me, you know what, it's a small scene, it's a very small scene. Falcon and Winter Soldier are fighting Spider-Man. And they both get tied to the floor, and Falcon blasts Red Wing at Spider-Man and takes him flying away. He's like, ah! You just hear like Team Rocket blasting off again in the background. Seriously, I'm that old. And then Falcon just lays there, and Winter Soldier goes, you couldn't do that early, and Falcon just perfectly goes, I hate you. It's just brilliant. It's so fantastically done. It was awesome. So guys, out of 10, this movie gets a 9 out of 10, guys. It was pretty much perfect. Not the greatest Marvel movie I've ever seen, no, Guardians of the Galaxy, but second greatest, yeah, I think it might be. In fact, this review has actually made me more excited to see it again. I hope I'm going to see it like a week or something. It's going to be awesome. Have a great day, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I just said that twice, so have a great day. I'll say it 3 times, that makes it lucky. I love you all, guys. Captain America Civil War. If you've seen it, let me know what you think about it. You see, I didn't steal that from Jeremy Johnson. No, he said it's slightly different. But if you have seen it, let me know what you guys think about it, and I will try and comment down there. If you haven't seen it and you've watched all this review, I hope I haven't ruined too much for you. I haven't ruined the ending, I haven't told you who wins, I haven't told you what happens, so I think I'm successful in that. I am now officially Team Iron Man, not Team Cap, but you guys will understand why when you come up the movie theatre. I hope you have a great day, and I do love you all. Bye!